Hey class, in today's lesson we're going to talk about right triangle trigonometry, which is found in section 4.3 part 1. Our objective is to evaluate trigonometric functions of acute angles. So if you look at the figure to the upper left hand corner, we have an example of a right triangle. So it says, consider a right triangle, one of whose angles is labeled theta. And by the way, because I wasn't able to get this symbol on this program, theta is this symbol, okay? So relative to the angle theta, the three sides of the triangle are the hypotenuse, which is the longest side opposite the right angle. So let me draw that. So again, the hypotenuse is the longest side opposite the right angle. So opposite the right angle would be that angle. It's always directly across from the right angle. The opposite side is the side across or next to it's the side opposite or across from theta. So opposite of theta, just like how we did with the right angle, opposite would be in this direction. Okay, and then finally, we also have the adjacent side, and the adjacent side is next to theta, but it's the one that's obviously not the hypotenuse. So the adjacent side would be this side here. Okay. So those are the three sides of a right triangle based on whatever is to be determined as the angle theta given to you for your problem. So these are just some bits of information that you just need to know. So the 6 trigonometric functions, it says let theta, again theta, let theta be an acute angle of a right triangle. Then the 6 trigonometric functions of the angle theta are defined as follows. So sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, tangent theta is opposite over adjacent. Cosecant theta is hypotenuse over opposite, secant is hypotenuse over adjacent, and cotangent theta is adjacent over opposite. As a reminder, cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, secant is the reciprocal of cosine, and cotangent is the reciprocal of cotangent. A nice way that many of us learn the trig functions for a right triangle is an acronym called Sohcahtoa. So Sohcahtoa. Sohcahtoa. And what that is essentially is that sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. So again, those are the 6 trigonometric functions. So in example 1, we are asked to evaluate or find the exact value of the 6 trig functions. All right, so first, what we've been given is a right triangle, but we don't have all the sides given to us. So that falls back to Pythagorean theorem, which means if you know 2 sides of a right triangle, then you're able to find the third using a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, so if we know that, then a and b are considered the legs of the right triangle, so we can make 3a and we can make 4b. And then c is always the hypotenuse, so let's solve for c. So that's 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. That will give us 9 plus 16 equals c squared. 25 then will equal c squared. And then to find c, we simply take the square root. So c is 5. Our hypotenuse here is 5. All right, so then we're going to go ahead and find the 6 trig functions. So again, sine, we can do sine. So sine of angle theta is opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite of angle theta is 4 and the hypotenuse is 5. So sine theta is 4 over 5. Sorry guys, my pen is not working. All right, after sine we have cosine. Remember, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. I'll actually write these reminders out. I don't know why I didn't do it the last time. Remember that was opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, adjacent over hypotenuse, and if that's the case, the adjacent side, remember, is a side that is next to theta, so that would be 3 over 5. All right, and then we have tangent theta. Tangent is opposite over adjacent, Sohcahtoa, so OA. And opposite over adjacent would be 4/3. All right, if those are the first three, then we know the other three. So sine matches with cosecant, and cosecant theta would just be the reciprocal of sine. So sine is currently 4/5, so the reciprocal would be 5/4. Okay, cosine theta, the reciprocal to cosine is secant theta. And the reciprocal to 3/5 is 5/3. Tangent theta, the reciprocal function of tangent theta is cotangent theta. And if we find the reciprocal of tangent, which is 4/3, it'll be 3/4. And that's how you find the 6 trigonometric functions of a right triangle. Something else I want to point out, a 3, 4, 5 right triangle is a very, very, very common right triangle. It's one of the more common Pythagorean triples. So just be aware, if you ever see 3 and 4 as legs, then your and a hypotenuse of 5, or 2 of the 3 parts, then those are the numbers according to that triple. All right, example 2. So for a 45-degree right triangle, so 45, 45, 90, let me go ahead and write that. This is a 45, 45, 90 degree right triangle, right? This is an isosceles triangle. And so the sides are always the same, okay? The legs are always 1, and the legs are always 1, and the hypotenuse is the square root of 2, and that really just comes from what we know about a basic square with a side length of 1, right? If you have a basic square with a side length of 1 and you cut it along the diagonal, then essentially what you have is 1 squared plus 1 squared equals to some c squared. That's going to be 2 equal to c squared, and so c is going to end up equaling the square root of 2. So that's where that comes from. Not that you probably need to know, but I just wanted you to have that information. So sine of 45, though we know this information already from learning the unit circle, it's good to know where it comes from. So the sine of 45 degrees, as a reminder, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So the angle that we want to reference is the 45-degree angle. We're going to consider that like our theta. Well, in this case, we have 2 options for theta because there are 2 45-degree angles. So let's just say that we're talking about this one just for the sake of perspective, okay? So if we know that this is the angle theta that we want to reference, then opposite of that will be 1, and the hypotenuse is 2. So we have, or square root of 2, so we have 1 over the square root of 2. And as a reminder, remember, nothing is considered simplified if it has a radical in the denominator. So we're going to multiply by square root of 2 over square root of 2. That's going to give us square root of 2 over 2 as the sine. Since we are talking about an isosceles triangle, even though we know that cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, there's no point of doing the work because we know we will get the same answer. And so again, cosine of 45 is the square root of 2 over 2. Finally, tangent. Usually tangent, from learning it with the unit circle, is pretty difficult to find, right? Because we have to divide sine by cosine. But in this case, what's nice is because we already have the triangle here for us, all we have to do is look at the triangle. And for us, tangent is opposite over adjacent, which is really nice because that makes it 1 over 1, or just 1. Okay. All right, let's look at our next problem. In example 3, we are asked to evaluate this 30, 60, 90 triangle. We've been given 4 different trig functions. They're very much relative to one another. So we're going to just go ahead from here. So sine of 60 is the angle that we are referring to. So when we think about opposite and adjacent and all that kind of stuff, we're referring to that being the main angle even though we see a 30-degree angle. Okay, so sine, as a reminder, is opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite over hypotenuse. So the opposite side of a 60-degree angle is the square root of 3. And the hypotenuse would be 2, right? It's the longest side. It's the side opposite the angle, the right angle. Cosine then of 60 would be adjacent over hypotenuse. And adjacent is 1 over the hypotenuse, which is 2. Okay? Sine then, I'll switch it up with colors since we need to change our perspective. So if you need to kind of turn your head to the side and imagine that 30, right, is down here. Okay? So sine, again, is opposite over hypotenuse, which is listed above. So opposite then would be the side length of 1. This is why when I kept saying if you know sine of 30, you know the others, again, they match, right? Sine of 30 and cosine of 60, they match. Cosine then of 30, again, is adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent to the 30-degree angle would be the square root of 3. So this is square root of 3 over 2. One really great way of learning the 30, 60, 90 triangle, let me draw it out. Let's say, for example, that this one is 60 and this one is 30, okay? We know that the side lengths are 1, 2, square root of 3, but sometimes we get confused on where they go. So the main thing that you need to know is whether you're, even if you're talking about a 45, 45, 90 triangle, or if we're talking about like what we see now, which is a 30, 60, 90 triangle, 2 is always a part of the hypotenuse. You just have to remember that if you're talking about a 45, 45, 90 triangle, it's a square root of 2, whereas in a 30, 60, 90 degree triangle, we're talking about a regular 2. And then from there, 30 matches to the smallest side. So think about it. We only have 3 sides with a 30, 60, 90 triangle. We have 1, 2, and the square root of 3. Okay, so technically the smallest side is 1. So the side opposite of 30 needs to be 1. And then if you know 1 and 2, then you know that the other one based off of process of elimination is the square root of 3. Okay, so for future references, always remember that 30 is opposite from the smallest angle, which is 1. And then these are just some helpful reminders about sine, cosine, and tangent, some special angles that come up very often. I don't really have much to say about it if you want to pause the video and copy them or whatever, but this is very beneficial. As usual, guys, if you have any questions, please be sure to come see me for tutoring.